I'm not looking for answers. I'm trying to observe who we are, or who I am, how I participate in this world. I'm seeing what's affecting my children and what affected me to make me want to participate in this destruction. When I first came to Santa Fe, I used to carve little objects with a political statement. And I found out that how easy it is to sell Indian imagery. You make an Indian face out of a pretty stone and it sells. And I've always been repulsed by that, the ease that Indian artists can make a career off of bad design but a pretty stone, or a pretty face but lacking in any kind of statement or content. And I used to go to my friends' houses to sell these things, and I would have to, really grovel in the dirt in front of these people with these objects that they didn't like because they had a little political statement. But I learned how easy it is to get by, and I watched all my friends carve these objects that were, to me, meaningless. They were Indian faces, buffaloes, Indian designs, but they really had nothing to do with my friends. My friends were all driving trucks and drinking beer and partying and talking on phones and all these contemporary things, and yet we're still stuck with an image of the past, of who we're supposed to be. So in this show, it was easy to make buffaloes that were sellable, and I knew it. The problem was to put it in a perspective so the viewer felt like he was getting a cheap bargain, and at the same time relating it to the destruction of the buffalo herds. They were getting cheap meat, free meat, and tying the viewer into their own relationship to the destruction of nature. We saw a show in Germany, and this guy used to carve penguins out of a wood that smelled like fish. When you walked into the museum, it smelled like all these dead fish. And I thought, what a great idea for an environmental statement. Instead of just penguins that smell like fish, it could have been something else completely different. That's pretty much where the idea came from. And the concept of the disappearing herd was what was valuable to me. But I wanted people to participate. They can go remove the buffalo from this pedestal. But one of the things I really want people to do is to go beyond that. I want people to participate in the destruction of the buffalo herd, to maybe open their consciousness to about how every one of us, are participating in the environmental destruction right now. And it's easy to say, well, my ancestors did this to the buffalo, but we're still doing it everywhere. America's doing it. The whole world is doing it. The thing that really interests me is this fantasy of Native Americans being the environmentalists of the world, and realize that they were humans too. They weren't perfect people. They didn't have a perfect society, but at least they were trying, and at least they gave the earth a spirit, the spirit of the earth, or a living earth concept, or a relationship to the earth. They put it in a perspective that they were a part of it and not separate or not dominant. That's more important than to say, well, we're the world's environmentalists. Well, maybe we were, maybe we weren't. My tribe moved and moved and moved. We're wanderers and gatherers because we used up the resources. I mean, that's not great environmentalists, but the issue is they thought that the earth was a part of them and they were a part of the earth, and they knew that if they destroyed it, they would be destroying the future of their people. Those are things that I would rather change philosophical attitudes or even religious attitudes that foster those concepts than to look to some people in the past and say, well, these were the great ones. That's one of the reasons the market is so great for Native American people. It's a fantasy for white people. It's a way for them to feel like they're participating in helping this environmental guilt that they've created. Well, that's not good enough. They have to look back at their own skin color and their own history and say, where are our medicine people? Where is our relationship to the earth? Why has our religion separated us from the earth? That's more important to me. And that's asking too much. I always ask too much for myself and other people, but why not? That's my job as an artist. I really wanted people to get the greed or the need, the same as buying a buffalo burger and realizing that we destroyed the buffalo. You know, the same thing is I was bringing out people's greed, I suppose. That's what I wanted to do. I could have done it myself by putting a high price and having exclusive buyers who could afford it, but I wanted the common man to realize it was a common problem.
No, actually, they'd be dead. They're leaving. They're dead.
On this one, I knew that the show would empty, and most people, I knew the response. People were, you know, they loved the idea, they loved the concept, but they still weren't relating to it on a personal level about how they individually, or we human beings are individually paying the price for our convenience. Even the convenience of buying a buffalo. Somebody said, how can you sell a Bob Haozous for $250? It's an original artwork. Well, I knew that was happening. I knew that was part of the concept, but at the same time, that was totally unimportant to me.
Nobody with the other thing on until just before you said we could take them.
Like the lady said, you know, we're still here. Well, we are still here, but unless we participate in our future and stop pretending we're white people, or decorators for white people, or dancers for white people, there's no hope for us. The Holocaust is almost complete. Maybe the Native Americans now are psychologically and emotionally more healthy than they've ever been. Who knows? But I do know that environmentally there's a catastrophe coming that may come instantly, it may come over 1,000 years, but it's coming. And we have to alter our attitude toward the earth, or we're participating.
To Rettig Martinez?
265, yeah, to Rettig Martinez. TTIG.
And then what I do?
Bye-bye. It's yours.
That's it? Thanks. Last piece? It's the last photo. Because it was an incredible show and it was incredibly pulled off, and I wanted the last one. I got the last one.